Hi everyone, this battle video covers a complete non-synergy 1 burst mode run on the Soaring Flames boss rush in Dissidia Final Fantasy global version of the game. And the reason for me posting this video is to provide some ideas to people who could not or did not build any of the 5 synergy characters. It is possible to complete the boss rush without any synergy characters in the party, although from my playtesting so far, it is my belief that if you do not have any synergy characters, you will need at least 1 burst mode among your 2 parties to complete the fight. And as you can see in the party setup, I actually used a cloud burst mode on my party 2, and the main reason for this is to allow you to complete the entire 3 waves with just 50 actions per 2 parties. Without the burst mode, it comes very close, but I do not think it is possible to complete the fight without any burst mode and without any synergy characters. Of course, if you have any synergy characters, it is my strong recommendation for you to include them in your party because they do make a huge difference. In fact, just having 1 synergy characters will make the entire boss rush significantly easier, and having 2 will make the fight pretty much a chaos level fight because of the huge difference in stat gains. So without further ado, let's head on into the fight. Okay, so starting on wave 1, the key here is to quickly set up the counters with Gau and Gladio as quickly as possible. So on Gladio's first turn, I used his Tempest attack so that he can cover the entire party. And for Gau, I will go into Lifeshaver into his LD. The reason I use Lifeshaver instead of Cat Scratch is because the bomb minions have a huge tendency to use Launch, as you can see. And if you actually use Cat Scratch, you actually do run the risk of Diabolos dying. It is possible to survive using Cat Scratch, but I decided not to take the risk and use Lifeshaver so that I can survive while completing my setup. I decided to hold off for 1 more turn with Gladio. I actually would recommend just going straight into his LD because the quicker you can complete wave 1, the more actions you have for wave 2. And the goal in this fight is to actually reach as far as possible on wave 2 with just your first party. Vivi is excellent for wave 1 because he incorporates heavy AoE damage in his kit. So with Vivi in your party, the bomb minions will attempt to die off just from the virtue of the splash damage and the counter attacks that Gau and Gladio do. So because of that, you can just focus all your attacks on the prominence boss in the middle. You can see that my Gladiolus actually came very close to dying, and that's because I held off using his LD. And it really shows how dangerous wave 1 can be if you come in unprepared. Having a form of damage mitigation really helps to negate a lot of the HP damage from the bomb minions. And of course, Gladiolus using his LD will completely negate HP damage from the bomb minions and significantly reduce any AoE HP damage to the rest of your party. Okay, so the prominence boss, as you can see, will resummon the bomb minions throughout the fight, but because you deal heavy counter damage and splash damage, it don't really matter too much, especially if Gladio has his LD buff up, the mini bombs are actually pretty harmless, so you should just focus the damage on the boss in the middle. The rest of the fight on wave 1 is a repeat. Do remember to refresh Gau's buff when his Beast Instinct runs out, because it does represent a significant attack boost in terms of buff. Okay, so coming to wave 2, you should still have at least one of Gladios LD and one of Vivis LD buff remaining, and it is quite important for wave 2, especially Gladios LD, because you will need some form of damage mitigation still before your party 1 actions run out. The goal here is to actually first allow the white Qilins to let off their first attack. Their first attack is always a harmless single target brave attack. However, before they get their second action in, you will need to buff Gladio with his LD. So here you can see after their first action, the white Qilin will immediately use Storm Calling Plus. You can see it surrounding itself with some sort of gust of air, and it's a representation that it's about to unleash a back-to-back AoE attacks, and the second one being HP damage. So it hurts a lot, especially if both white Qilins do it back-to-back, and this is the reason why you want to activate Gladios LD before they get their second action. So after using Storm Calling Plus, the white Qilins will use a group Dagra followed by their signature group Brave and HP attack, as you can see here. It does hurt quite a bit, but if you have Gladios LD buff up, it does reduce the damage somewhat because he takes 0 Brave damage, and he also reduces the amount of HP damage that your rest of the party members take. So it allows your party members to comfortably tank both the attacks, and right after that, Gau can heal the party back up. And of course, Gladio also brings with him a 20% HP regen. You notice that I still haven't popped my summon. I'm actually trying to save my summon for as long as possible, and I'm aiming to try to pop it when they are below 50%, because it does actually pause the Rufenia Orb counter when summon is up. Okay, I decided to pop summon here because the bosses are both launchable, and using summon here allows me full up attacks after my character's attack. And the white Qilins are also very close to 50% HP, so I felt that now is as good a time as I need to pop summon. So because this is a full non-synergy run, it is very important to use all 50 actions on party number 1 so that it allows you a bit more breathing room for party number 2. So because of that, I am still continuing to damage down the white Qilins even though the Lufenia Orb is present. The idea is that on party 2 I have Cloud, and Cloud can actually immediately launch the white Qilins and increase the Lufenia Orb counter. Now I do come very close on the orb counter, and this actually isn't ideal. I was actually debating just ending my party 1 a bit earlier, but in the end decided not to. Ideally you want to have the orb counter at about 5 or 6 so that your party number 2 has a little bit of breathing space, but I chose to utilize all my full 50 actions rather than let them go to waste, so I just completed my 50th action here. Nicely with Gau's EX. Okay, so party number 2 for me consists of Lightning, Kurasame and Cloud. And I actually had Dark Knight Cecile as a call for Cloud, which is actually quite important. He does increase the orb counter on wave 3. For my summon, as you can see, I use Diabolos, and the idea behind that is that using Diabolos also will allow me to increase the orb counter. However, on testing, I actually realized that Diabolos summon is not needed at all, and a better option would actually be Ifrit or Pandemonium, because you can actually just brute force your way through the Lufenia orb on wave 3 due to the low HP that the flawless boss have. So here, immediately starting off on party 2, my recommendation is to actually just reset the fight until Kurasame goes first, so that he can debuff his LD to 5 stacks on the bosses. I do immediately pop Cloud's Burst, and the main reason for that is that I allowed the Lufenia orb to go down to 2. So using Cloud's Burst will allow me to deal damage in while increasing the Lufenia orb counters. And nicely also, it brings the white Qilin down to very close to death, which will then allow me to start wave 3 with as many actions as possible remaining. Okay, so coming to wave 3, it is the most straightforward of this fight. The only risk here is completing the fight in time before the remaining actions run out. As you can see, I started with 41 actions and I come pretty close. With lightning in the party, the flawless boss will never get a turn, so all you have to do is rotate amongst lightning's skills and use her EX plus to significantly delay flawless. The key thing to note is that lightning of course has 4 uses of her LD, and because you only have 40 actions total to complete the fight, you do not actually need to wait until her LD buff expires before using her next LD, and you actually want to try to weave through her LD uses before you pop the summon at the end. I also of course immediately started wave 3 using Kurasame's LD so that the hero stacks will be jumped to 5 stacks immediately. Okay, so the Lufenia orb has appeared, and you can actually brute force your way through the orb the first time. It will disappear the moment the flawless boss hits 0%. So for this reason, I do not recommend using the summon yet. You can see here also that I used Cloud's Call to bring in Dark Knight Cecile. It does some nice damage because it leads to a battery and launch, and importantly, Dark Knight Cecile also will increase the Lufenia orb counter. Okay, here I made a huge mistake. I allowed the boss to break my entire party after using Kuraga, and normally it's a run ender. You could see I was about to reset my run. Luckily my Cloud had a clutch dodge there, and I actually evaded the Holy Sword attack. Okay, at this stage, action count is getting really low. You can see here I'm left with 21. And the idea from here on in is to rotate between Lightning's LD and her EX, because her LD provides consecutive free actions, and those free actions will help to charge her EX. So you want to, for example, use her EX, use the free skill, go into her LD, get 2 more free skills, and use her EX again. The fight won't last too long anyway, so there's no point to conserve her LD longer than necessary. So below 60%, the orb will appear again at the count of 10. It might seem tight, but because Flawless doesn't actually have a lot of HP, it is possible to burn down the boss inside summon before the orb counter expires. However, the bigger pressing matter at hand are the action count. I'm down to 7, and my idea going into this phase of the fight is to just wait until the action count is at 1 before popping my summon. Okay, so action counts at 1, so I have no choice but to pop summon here. And my idea here was to use Diabolos to increase the pop counter, but you can see that it's actually not necessary and you could kill off the boss inside summon. So in theory, using a summon such as Ifrit or Pandemonium would be more beneficial than Diabolos in this case. I wasn't actually sure whether I could make it or not. It gets pretty tight. And at this point I thought I wasn't able to make it, but at the last 4%, Cloud's launch is actually enough to kill off Flawless. And that's it. I hope this video has been helpful. If it is, do leave a like, comment or subscribe. I will also be uploading videos using synergy characters, so stay tuned for those. Till then, I'll see you in the next Lufenia fight. Bye bye.